Well. Welcome to the Elite Table Talk. This is the first official episode from the full transition from the Table Talk to the Elite Table Talk. Yo, welcome to the Elite Table Talk, where we unpack health professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs, and just everyday people, and looking at their lifestyle, their mindset, their routines, and we see what they have done to help them move forward and really just get more time back in the day. You know, most people say there's 24 hours in the day, but there's really 16 because we sleep for 8. But how do we get the most out of those 16? So grab a pen, get some paper, let's make some notes. Let's see what we can get from this episode today. Let's go. Now, wouldn't do it justice if we had just anybody on the program. We had to have someone who's kind of gone on a full journey himself. So really excited for this man, Jesse. So a bit about Jesse. If you are someone who's a bodybuilder, done functional training, fighting, calisthenics, BJJ, you've been possessed to be a vegetarian. And if you don't know, click the link below for that one. To then shooting, being a vegetarian with a bow and arrow. So he's got skills. Lighting on fire with a flamethrower. Yeah, you got it. This is the man to be speaking with. So most people have one size fits all. From my understanding, is Jesse's belief is to really find a process that fits the person. So if you're someone who wants to move, do salsa, you want to do pull-ups, calisthenics, he wants to be able to customize plans to tailor to you so you can move for the rest of your life until the day you die. And that's Jesse Primal Fits. Jesse, welcome. Super excited to have you on Elite Table Talk. Let's rock in.
Bro, that was awesome. As you were listing things off, I was like, oh, I've done some cool shit. Let's go.
I have shot a vegetarian book with a bow and arrow. Yeah.
That was one of my best moments.
Well, let's just go into that one. So this is the video we're talking about.
What the fuck? Hello there. Go vegetarian for the planet and your health.
What made you do the video? Like, how?
It's funny, man. Like, I've got like a clear enemy that I talk to in my videos, right? It's like the soy version of me. And that does come with other things other than just being vegetarian. But being vegetarian was definitely the moment where I was most soy. So I got a vegetarian book and I was like, I just wanted to like show that it's like, it's trying to creep back in, even though it's not. Like I'm so far from it now, but I just thought it'd be funny to be like, shoot it with a bow and it comes back to life. It's like, fuck, it's chasing me and I light it with a flamethrower. And just have some fun with it.
That was great. So for those who might be wondering, how did you guys meet? Vegetarian this, vegetarian that, meet. So Jesse and I both mentor with our rock star, Mr. Dylan Fowler, man of the Mamba method. And, you know, a lot of the calls, I personally, I'll put my hand up, I don't really attend the calls because I want to watch it at 1.5, 2x speed. So I watch the calls in the afternoon and usually Jesse's the man that's usually on all the calls. So hit him up. And I'm currently working on selfish plug of Mark Sisson. So there's a book called The Keto Best Cookbook or The Reset. Working with a few people on keto, primal, carnivore, and Jesse's a primal man and he's all about real food. And I thought rather than say it myself, we would bring him on to get his experience of the primal life. And no disclaimer, he is not walking up to women, knocking them over with the head with a club and then taking them back. We're not getting that primal. Unless the missus is into it. I don't know.
Wait, we got a baby coming somehow.
I know my missus would knock me. So Jesse, to kick off, tell us more about like, how did you start in the industry yourself? Like, how long have you been doing it for?
Oh man, so I've been a coach for I think 8 years now. So I was in school and I did like a school-based apprenticeship kind of thing. And we did the Cert 3 there. I had to do 380 hours with like, it's like $9 an hour work, but it was better than working at Domino's. So that was the goal. I was like, fine, let's go. Let's do this.
As a trainer?
Yeah, like it was more like I'm cleaning the toilets and doing the paperwork and stuff. Like I definitely wasn't a trainer. It was just like I was in the gym, but very quickly I got to take the classes. So I was shadowing the PTs as well, and then taking on like the boxing classes and stuff like that. So I started there, realized very quickly that I love this. This is what I want to do. So as soon as I finished school, I became PT. And it was wild, man. Like, it's such a crazy journey. It's like I started with like $30 a session and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm gonna get $30 a session. This is crazy. And like, I was probably worth 30, you know, like I was probably worth 30 then. But that's okay. And so I worked at Anytime Fitness. I think it was for 6 years and loved it. Absolutely loved coaching. And then I moved to my gym that I'm at now. It's a base training center. So it's an MMA and jiu-jitsu gym. So I get to work with some athletes. So I kind of stopped coaching just general population people in person and just wanted to focus a bit more on the jiu-jitsu guys, the pro fighters, which is really cool. Something I always had wanted to do was to train professionals because they have a reason to train. You know, like it's a bit easier to get them to do what you want to do. In saying that, not all MMA fighters see the value in strength training. So there's a whole other set of problems that come with that as well, right? So it's my job to show them that. But I love it, man. And then I started online coaching, and that's just changed everything completely because I can help so many more people. And it's a crazy amount more people that I've been able to help. And like, I found that like doing a PT session once a week was cool, but a lot of people that was all they would do, and they wouldn't do any more than that. Once I started adding in the nutrition part of it, then I started getting really awesome results. And I was like, oh my God, this is what was missing. Because like you can't expect to just get amazing results from 30 minutes a week of training. But when I'm now making them accountable for their whole week of training plus nutrition, and then I'm helping them on the way, we're getting awesome results. And now I can see how much more impact I can have through that.
Yeah, no way. That's awesome. And just to rewind from Anytime to, is this your own facility?
No, bro. No. I work at just someone else's gym.
Not yet. Just pacing the joint.
Yeah. I'm the only trainer there, man. So I've got it pretty good.
And you train the athletes. So were you a professional fighter as well yourself?
No, I'm not a professional fighter, man. I just do jiu-jitsu. I just do jiu-jitsu comps. I don't love getting hit in the head.
Really?
Yeah, not for me.
Training the professionals, you're saying not all of them see the benefit of strength training. Can you elaborate more on that? Like,
yeah, maybe not so much the professionals, but just like the hobbyist guys, because their blueprint to training is for bodybuilding mostly, right? So these guys, most of them are now come into this gym where they're having so much fun training. They see the purpose in it. It doesn't really correlate well with bodybuilding training. So they're so fixated on this. And it's like, yeah, there's just a whole other way of training that we can use to make this better, like their sports training improve, their performance improve, but it's not the blueprint that everyone knows. So it's often missed. So that's my job to show them. And then I show that they don't have to train 7 times a week to get benefits. You know, like we can do 2 to 3 sessions a week, and you're fine.
Don't have to train. But what about their biceps?
That's an ongoing battle, that one.
And what is like the routine of like a fighter, like someone that you work with? I guess we would just separate the two. Like you're working online with Gen Pop, getting great results from programming and nutrition, and then you've got the athletes who are probably already living that life, and you're just helping them get that extra edge with strength training. What is the difference of the two? Like, or is it the same thing, but it's just the mindset of the athletes just more honed in?
Yeah, no, they're quite similar. And the fact that like nutrition is a difficult topic, right? Like it's a hard thing. People don't understand how it works. So I'm still helping them all with the same kind of training programs. It's a bit more specific for the athletes. It's like we were looking for certain things, but I believe that everyone's an athlete. We just have got different levels of athletics, right? Yeah. So I want everyone to move like an athlete because I think that's a better life. To be able to move like an athlete's awesome. So I don't focus so much on like the beginners anymore. It's more like the people that have been training for a little while and now they're ready to like take it to the next level, or just they never stopped moving. Like that's probably more so. Like you could still be a beginner but still move better than, you know. So but the difference is like they have a focus, they have this massive goal, and it's the want behind that makes it easy for them to be trained. So it's just making it clear to everyone else, like what's their reason to train? What do you want to unlock? What do you want to be able to do? Whereas the fighters is like, they've got a clear date where they've got to be the best. And we can just like narrow in on that. And it's like, it's a good motivation to be like, all right, well, you got 6 weeks left. Let's get this working.
Yeah. So an athlete is more honed in on a specific target or goal, similar to like business, where for those that may be watching a video of this, you might see behind Jesse is his honed in targets and habits, which is that beautiful whiteboard.
Right, spend some time on that.
I love it. It's the one thing I stare at when I watch you, other than your eyes, of course. And then with Gen Pop, they're more for maybe you're saying, well, people would classify them a beginner, but you're saying they're actually someone who just stopped moving for a period of time.
Yeah.
So
I think the way to live the best life is with the most movement. I think that lacking movement means you're not able to experience life to its optimal state, right? So I want people to just be able to move. I want them to be able to jump. I want them to be able to run. So there's factors that go into this. Like, do they have knee pain? Do they have back pain? Things that we can fix and focus on to get them moving better. And yeah, everyone's got a different goal, what they want to be able to do. But I'm trying to make it so that they're not focused on losing 10 kilos or putting on muscle. Like, that's all byproduct stuff. I want them to be focused on skills. It's like, make this fun. This is forever. So for me, it was like 2 years of bodybuilding training. I was like, well, this is kind of boring now. What's next? And I didn't really know what was next. And now I've been training for like 11 years. It's like, now I've got a different approach to it all. And it's like, I can help with this. I was like, we need to focus on new skills to unlock. So just getting the mindset shift from just focusing on aesthetics, which will come, like that's all part of it still, but let that just be a byproduct and focus on developing skills, which is the fun part anyway. Like, hitting PBs are fun, but like learning new skills are fun. So just find that area.
Yeah. And when someone comes to you, like, how do you assess and test to then go, these are the skills we work on? Or is it you go, what would you like to learn?
I do both, bro. So most of the time I do just ask them what they would like. If they've been watching my content for a while, I do awesome stuff. So it's like, I can give some ideas, but I usually just like throw out like 3 ideas. Like, what would you like? Would you like to be able to do handstand push-ups, work on the splits? Like, what do you want to be able to do? And I don't think most people have been asked that question before. It's always, how much weight do you want to lose? And like, I just don't care for that anymore. Like, that will all come, right? Like, I talk about like being in like the savage making business. And it's like, a savage is not going to have 10 kilos extra weight because it's going to weigh you down both physically and mentally. So it does need to go, but that we just play around with calories and just moving consistently, right? So how can we have the most fun doing this? What can you be working towards? So just giving them some ideas, actually asking the questions, because if you haven't been asked a question, you're not going to think about it. So just getting the motor, like unit rolling there, you know?
What is your favorite type of movement? So not BJJ, but there's walking with sandbags, there's walking with kegs and kettlebells. What are the types of movement that you really enjoy working with?
So for myself, I do love jiu-jitsu. That's like a lot of movement I do, but I've been really getting into the tricking side of things as well. So like learning how to backflip, doing a heap of different tricks more than backflips. So that's really cool. It's like a really cool way to showcase what my body's able to do. But walking is elite, running is elite. Both those things I really haven't put much focus on until probably the last 12 months. I've always just classified myself as not a runner, but like, you're just not a runner if you're not running, you know? So you just got to start. And that was a cool perspective change for me. It was like, I should just be able to run. Like, I've always been used to running for sport. Like, I could chase a ball or something. That's cool. But just being able to run, if you need to run, it's crazy to see how much you can cover in a short amount of time if you just actually got outside and moved. So it's important for me to move. Like, one of the things on my whiteboard is I have to move outside every day, because that's super important to me. That feels very primal. And so I've got a slack line up in the backyard. I'll go run to the park. There's pull-up bars and stuff like that. So just, there's not like one thing. It's like, how can I just move the most?
Okay. Do you have like a hopper at home? Like, it's got a ball, like 100 or 500 balls in it with a different movement. You're like, today I am
kind of, bro.
Backflips. Okay, we're doing backflips.
It's sort of my mind. Yeah, it's my like, I sort of just set like a weekly goal. It's like, what do I want to achieve this week? And I don't love saying like Monday's this day. It's like, what do I feel like today? It's like, well, I've got to get 2 runs in this week. Maybe I'll go for a run now. So I've got a program that I follow for like all my calisthenics stuff, but I know the work will just get done, but it's just like more so what am I feeling each day? What do I feel like I need to do? Like if I'm super run down and stuff, if I've had a busy work day the day before, maybe I go on the slack line and just have some fun. Like it doesn't need to go 100% in the gym, 10 out of 10 session. It can literally just be a walk. It could just be having fun working on some handstands or something. And normalize that you don't need to be in the gym for a long time or even at the gym at all. Just go move.
Yeah, because eventually, like, you'll get there.
Yeah, exactly. It's just consistency.
How do you find the slack line?
I sucked to start with, which is an important lesson that I hear my audience, guys. Is it's like you got to embrace that white belt mentality, right? Of just absolutely sucking at something and knowing that with work it will be fun and it will get better. And seeing that in real time, it's like I suck. I fell off. I had an awesome fall on it. It was like, when was the last time, bro, that you like hit the ground and was like, wow, I haven't fallen on the ground in years. So it was a nice experience.
Yeah.
But just getting better and better at that. It's the confidence building. It's also just like knowing that my balance is getting way better. I've got a quote that I tell my guys. It's like, you don't know you need to work on your balance until it's too late.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. What's the most interesting skill you've worked on so far? Well, I guess there's that. And I really just want to know about backflips. Like,
I grew up with a trampoline. So I've got my baby coming in July. And like, as soon as possible, I'll be buying a trampoline for that, because I think everyone should grow up with a trampoline. Even just like training people, man, it's crazy to see they don't know how to propel their body up. They don't know how to throw their arms up to jump. So it's wild, just like the body awareness stuff.
They used to go on that way.
Yeah, exactly. So the backflips I've always just done on a trampoline. Then one day, not like, it was only a couple of years ago, I was like, can I do this on the flat ground? And I went for it. And then I realized there's a whole world that's called tricking, where backflips are like the beginner of beginner moves. Like that is like, it's crazy because like 99% of people can't backflip. And then this is like the beginner move. So they're starting putting combos all together. So it's a wild world that I'm excited to be a part of.
No way. There's like Red Bull tournament, tricking throwdown. What? Watch
it, bro. It's insane.
Tricking battle. Oof.
Yeah. It's insane, man.
Parkour Yamakasi, where they just jump off buildings and flips.
Yeah, so yeah. It's just such a cool way to show what the body's capable of.
Yeah, wow. Is there any movement that you look at, like, because you're saying the backflip is the beginner's movement? Like for me, I'd be like, huh? Yeah. Is there a point where you would look at a movement and go, what? And now you've achieved it, and now you're like seeing the next level and you're still like, what?
Yeah, for sure, man. And that's probably where I'm at with the calisthenics stuff at the moment. So that's my big focus. I'm going to set the world record for handstand push-ups in 24 hours. So
how many is that?
So there's no record now. So I'm just going to set it. That's my goal. And I'm aiming to do 1,000 over the 24 hours.
You need to change your intro then. Ooh.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. So the handstand push-ups been one that I've looked at. I've been able to do handstand push-ups on the wall for years. But then just like getting my first one freestanding, that's probably only happened in the last 12 months. And then it's like I got 2 in a row, 3 in a row, and then I'm sort of stuck again. So just seeing the progress, and then now I've got a coach for the first time in my whole life. So I've been training this whole time without a coach. Got a coach, Sam, he's the man. And now I'm seeing this progression. I see what he can do. It's like, oh wow, like I want to be able to do a one-handed handstand. Like there's such it's like I've gone into another world now. I've gone, oh my God, I'm a beginner again. And it's wild to think that, because like I am very strong, but it's still like it doesn't all translate to it. So it's like I've got to learn these new skills. So even like the planche and the human flag, all those things I want to be able to do. But the handstand push-ups definitely the main focus. And I've been bringing that to the gym to show to the guys, and they've been having a heap of fun. And that was something that really was highlighted to me the other night. They're like, wow, I want to do more fun stuff like this in our programs. I was like, oh, if you want to do more of this, we can do this. I'm happy to add this in. Let's go.
Yeah, probably let's ask the question of, so for someone who's listening, they're like, tell me more. What's the typical routine for you then? Like, I guess, what was the routine? Because I know you say you don't look at this Monday as, push-up day and Tuesday is this day. You kind of take it as it is with different movements. But is there still a structure to the madness of that? Like, what does it look like before you got your coach? And then what tweaks did you make?
For sure, bro. If you could see my Google Calendar, it's wildly structured. So the way that I make it work, hey, what was that?
Love me some good structure.
Yeah, dude, I love it. The amount of calendars I've made, it's not okay. But the way I do it, bro, is I I just structure in time to get what I need to do done. Now, so that means I don't necessarily be like, okay, for this hour, I do have to do push-ups. It's like this hour I'm moving. That's all I've got to do. And it can be arranged. It's how is my body feeling, right? So I don't believe in rest days. I believe that we can just play around with the intensities, right? So I don't think we're designed to sit on a couch. It's like, cool, you can go sit on a couch, but why don't you go for a walk? There's nothing stopping you going for a walk, right? But then Tuesday, I might be raring to go, and it's like, all right, I'm going to max out here. So I just give myself the times where it's like, this is what needs to get done. I don't care what gets done. It just needs to. Now with a coach is a little different in like, I know I've got a 4-day program. So I know that there's 3 days to play around with. So if I'm feeling like, so tricking is on at 8:30 to 10:30 at night on a Wednesday, which is like the start's my bedtime normally. So it's a shitty wake up. So I know the next day is probably going low intensity. So I'm not going to do like my schedule program there. So I just play around with it and listen to how my body's feeling. I think that's the way to go. So it's I train every day at least once. By then I do jiu-jitsu 5 times a week as well. And then tricking once. And yeah, we have some fun.
Don't start a fight with Jesse. Just in case anyone was wondering, don't start a fight. He will mess you up. So we got tricking, backflips, gone for the world record for the handstand push-ups. What, have you thought about the strategy? Like if you're a man that's made many calendars, have you made the plan, like the 24-hour plan for like how you'll do it?
I've thought about it. So at the moment, I'm playing around with the idea of just 1 rep every minute, and just like pumping that out for it's going to have to be breaks in there. I'm sure I can't just go for the whole time, but I think
come on, you could do it.
Yeah. Volume's going to be the biggest killer. Like even just now, I could do an EMOM for them, and it's like adding on an extra minute of 3 is a killer. So like I think 1 at a time is the go so far, but that's why I'm probably going to go do it in November. So I've still got a heap of building up time to just set myself up right.
Did you say Movember?
I don't think so, but there's a chance.
Maybe, yeah, I'm probably thinking about it. So subliminally hearing it. Okay, so let's pivot on that to then talk more about nutrition, which is kind of why I wanted to start this to begin with, which is to get really your take on the nutritional side. So like, are you a nutritionist at all?
Yep.
Or?
Yeah, sports nutritionist.
Oh, have my babies. Love that. Because, you know, the amount of times, like I used to work in gyms like 5-10 years ago, and I would look at trainers doing trigger point release to their clients, and I'd be like, oh, you're a massage therapist. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what do you mean what am I talking about? Like, you just did a trap trigger point release. They're like, huh? Like, what? And then like you've got nutritional plans and disclaimers. So yes, nutrition dietetics for me, nutrition for you. Love it. People like actually investing in their education. But tangent on that. So yeah, I've been working on keto and understanding the carnivore diet. Now, I haven't done carnivore myself. I do love carbohydrates, so I do love the good stuff. So I wanted to get your approach on probably starting, I would say the way I've kind of written it is there's like 3 levels. Like level 1 is where people are starting to just, you know, eat their meats and veg, like clean eating, and they're not really utilizing processed foods. Then like 2 is going into keto, which is low protein, high fat. And then 3 is kind of going into the carnivore diet. And that's kind of from how I've looked at it, ideally from a decrease of inflammation protocols in the body. I wanted to get your take on the primal way. Like, what does that look like?
For sure, bro. So I kind of flip what you do around. So my level 1's carnivore, and I like to treat it as a reset diet. So I figure that like so many people are coming from not good, right? So they're coming from eating a heap of shit. I think I do a 25-day reset. I loved carnivore when I did it. I had a heap of energy. I felt really good. But the first time I tried it, I did not absolutely hate it. I quit on day 3. So the second time I tried it was much better. I didn't eat enough calories the first time around because you're dropping out whole food groups, right? So you're just not eating enough, no energy, felt like shit. So I start with 25 days of carnivore because I feel like people can do things for 25 days. 25 days is like an easy amount of time to be like, oh, this is how long I'm doing this thing. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You can really see it. But in that time, they will see the differences from not eating that stuff. And I think that's the biggest lesson, is that you go, wow, I've got way more energy right now. It's like, now we have the adult conversation of what should you add back in so you don't lose your energy, because having more energy is life's currency, right? So it's like, what can we do to just keep this up? So I use it as an elimination diet to be like, okay, now we're going to add in the real foods, right? So I add in the fruit, the veg, the dairy. That's those things. And like, if people think they maybe have a dairy problem, add that in separately to other things. See what triggers you. Like, that's what I think it's a good use of. I don't see carnivore forever, but in saying that, there's Sean Baker and stuff like that are thriving on it. So I just think it's going to be an easier sell to get people healthier by adding in these other food groups as well. And I don't see an issue with eating them either. And that's how I would like to live. So that's what I promote. So I do the 25 days for carnivore, and then I get them onto the real food stuff. And then I go more like a 90-10 protocol. And I figured that's about 3 meals a week that aren't perfect. That doesn't mean 3 Macca's meals a week. It's like, you add something, like if you add a wrap to your food, cool. Like, as long as it's still loaded full of protein and stuff, it's like, that's not going to be the end of the world. And then if you do go to a social occasion with your family, it's like, cool, 1 meal's not going to absolutely ruin your life.
Carnivore.
Yeah, exactly, right? So my rule is, though, that they have one of those 10% meals, and then they got to go back onto the 90%. So they stop the binge cycle, which a lot of people, like you would know as well. You talk to them, it's like, I'm good till Thursday, then Friday I spiral out to Monday, you know? So it's just trying to break down their old patterns and just give some new, healthier ones.
Yeah, I've already messed it up. I might as well just continue. No, just enjoy it.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, don't be guilty when you have one of these things. Just know that, like, it's forever. Like, it's not, you've ruined everything that you've done now. It's like, okay, cool. What's next? Just move on.
Yeah, I do enjoy when people spiral. I'm like, oh, so you got mugged? They're like, no. I'm like, well, then, so no food attacked you? They're like, food doesn't attack you.
I love that.
You get power. So you use 24 as I like that. That's really good, is in the sense, because obviously carnivore is really, it's a full elimination. So I can see with how I'm thinking of it is like, it does take longer, where you're just like, just start, eliminate. Like, you're going to experience the cold turkey or the withdrawals anyway, but as you've just said, you did experience, it was really a lack of calories and nutrients. So yeah.
It's nice, bro. Just, people are down to do fad diets, right? Like everyone will do one. They're like, okay, cool. So it's like, if we just make it clear that it's literally just for 25 days, and then I reintroduce foods, it's like, oh, okay, this is just part of the process now. It's not me saying this is the next best thing for you to do. It's like, why don't we just see what works with your body and what doesn't?
Yeah. And for those that are like looking at carnivore, what were kind of the big things that stood out for you that really helped? I guess the first time was making sure you know your calorie intake. What other things stood out for you? So when you did the second time, you felt more prepared.
Yeah, I added plenty of dairy in with the carnivore, which some people are like on the fence of if it counts. I counted it as carnivore still, and that made it a lot easier to get those extra calories in, because I drink a lot of milk normally. So just me saying I'm not going to drink milk's a big deal, let alone me cutting out all these other food groups as well. So I was like, let me just have meat and dairy, and that was awesome. I felt great. I had a heap of energy, which was cool. Like, very stable levels of energy. There was no crashing, there was no ups and downs. It was just stable. Nothing. It wasn't like day 4 I woke up and I'm like, wow, I feel amazing. Yeah, exactly. It was more so when I stopped, I was like, oh, I don't feel as good. Oh, okay. So it wasn't like I took pre-workout or anything like that. It was just, I felt good. I was doing what I needed to do. I had what seemed like a normal amount of energy, but I realized later it was like, that wasn't normal. What I think should be normal, but not what I had. So making sure you get the calories in, and that's the good thing as well when trying to use it for fat loss. It's pretty hard to overeat your calories on it because it's so satiating having the protein and the fat. So you're so full and it's like, oh, I can eat more food. That's pretty cool. And then also dissociating from the hunger cues that I was so used to. So long I thought I was just hungry, but I would just eat a big steak and they'd be like, I'm hungry. It's like, that's not the same thing. It's just my body craving carbs, craving fruit. It's like, oh, I've been controlled by something, by these cravings that I didn't know existed. I just thought I was hungry. but it's like, I'm not actually hungry. And once he got over that, I was like, oh, it's not actually that bad. So just changing my perception on how my body works with me as well was pretty cool.
Yeah, wow. So just being aware and conscious of it.
Yeah.
And so when you say with milk, would you be like, could someone, chocolate milk, for example, like if they do get craving, like cravings come in the beginning, would you just mix cacao with the milk?
Yeah. It's not something I ever did, but yeah, for sure. If there's no adding of sugar to it, I've got no problem with it. Yeah.
Butter, cheese.
Oh, so much butter. Yeah, I love butter, bro. And
by the
cheese for sure too. But yeah, it's so good. I love butter.
Good quality. We actually had so we actually got this big carrot cake. So we got back from the Gold Coast, and I'm like, "Did you order this?" Partner's like, "No." I'm like, "Awesome." So we got this big gluten-free carrot cake, and we're cutting it all up, and we're smothering butter on it. And one of our staff is just like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Butter." She's like, "Yeah, you're putting butter on carrot cake. You don't put butter on cake." I'm like, "Okay, well, one, it's rich in omega-3s. Two, do you know what you put in cake?" She's like, "Yeah, butter." I'm like,
yeah. Oh, dude, butter makes everything better.
Yeah, butter. I love it. Butter on everything. Actually concerns my family because I'm like, steak, butter. Potato.
Well, you've had some of those conversations around here. Not something I'm scared of, that's for sure.
Butter is not the devil.
Absolutely.
So you did 25 days, and then you've noticed a spike in energy. Did you do you find either yourself or the people that you work with, do they get a bit of cold feet because it's like, I feel really good. Like, why would I change? Like, why would I introduce things? Like, I don't know. Like, I might ruin it.
Not really, man. I think people are mostly keen to have some more fun in their diet again.
Yeah.
I haven't had anyone actually be like, I'm going to stick with this. Some of them love how much meat they're having, and then they're like, I'm going to have the same amount of meat, but I'm just going to add in a bit of fruit. I'm like, cool. That's awesome. Like, I don't care. It's not like we finished carnivore and they've got to do something completely different. If they're like,
the ice cream,
yeah, because like for me, bro, I was like, oh wow, I didn't realize how much I love pumpkin. Like it's so sweet when you haven't been having all those extra sugars as well. Now I'm like, oh, I'd be okay if I just had some pumpkin now. Like this would be perfect. So I then added in a bit of pumpkin, and then I was like, oh, I'll also add in some fruit, and then I was content. I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah, fruit's a game changer.
Yeah.
Other than learning that you love to slap the meat, seeing how you slap that steak.
Oh yeah.
And questioning how much you can actually eat, which is great. How much is too much? I wanted this message. It's only a kilo. Come on. Were there any foods that you kind of had a realization you were like, huh? Like, for example, when Kate did keto, she used to use a lot of supplementation, and then when she started keto, so she got rid of all the carbs and everything, half of her supplements actually, like, she got really aggravated. She actually like turned to me one day. She's like, I don't know how to tell you this, but I want to kill you. I'm like, what? She's like, she had an argument with someone at work, and she's like, I just wanted to like end the guy. I was like, wow. And then she went from taking like 15, 20 supplements to then taking only 6. And she's like, wow, I was masking like taking all these supplements to mask obviously the effect of all these foods that were actually triggering my gut and causing me all these issues. So, it's quite cost effective. We didn't spend as much on subs. Did you notice any certain foods that were triggers or subs that you realized?
Yeah, for sure. So supplements, no, because I only take electrolytes. That's literally the only supplement that I take. So I didn't notice anything from that. But grains was a big thing. So that was a big part of my lifestyle, especially when I was vegetarian. I was not a good vegetarian. Like, that's disclaimer there. I was not good at it. I would just eat 10 pieces of toast a day and then whatever mum cooked for dinner, right? So it wasn't good stuff.
What, you put butter on it, right?
What was that?
You put butter on it, right?
Yeah.
Could have been worse.
Yeah. So once I I moved out. I started cooking for myself. I would still have toast, but pretty much when I moved out, I was like, I think it's time for a change. I think I'm going to do this animal-based thing. And then when I did that, I added grains back in. My gut hurt so bad, and that's from me having 10 pieces of toast a day for like 15 years of my life to now I'm having 1 piece of toast and my gut hurts. It's like, oh wow, my body's just gotten used to this, and it's wild. It happened probably 3 times, but like by the 4th time, my body got used to it again. And it hasn't hurt. So it's pretty eye opening to me. I was like, oh, maybe this isn't as good for me as what I thought it was.
Yeah. Wow. What was your cognitive performance like?
When I was eating all the toast.
Yeah, like were you forgetful? Were you like
No, it was okay. Again, it was like I didn't feel bad as vegetarian, but it was once I stopped, I was like, whoa, okay, this is way different now. So I didn't notice any problems, but my energy was definitely more up and down. And even now when if I go to sushi with friends, we need to not be there very long, because like as soon as I have that rice, I know I've got about 45 minutes and I'm like, oh, I'm going out here. So that was really cool to see. When I stopped eating those things, my energy was just stable instead of like, oh, I'm done now.
Yeah, wow, how incredible.
Yeah.
From like everything's fine to then realize like, oh.
Yeah, well, it was so sorry. Now I remember as well. It's when I was eating all the bread, I had high blood pressure and daily nosebleeds. So at jiu-jitsu, I was getting I'd tap on my nose and I'd start bleeding. And I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I was like, I got a big nose, maybe that's what it is, you know? And then I stopped, and like without even thinking about it. And then I was like, wow, I haven't had a nosebleed in a month. That's weird. And then I went to the doctor, my blood pressure was perfect. And I was like, huh. Okay, now I don't get nosebleeds. I've had probably 2 since I stopped being vegetarian, and it's like I've been like kneed in the nose or something. It's like I deserve to bleed. That's okay. Yeah,
I deserve to bleed. Yeah, wow, just like bread.
Yeah, wild, man.
Got me thinking, because I used to eat loaves. Like I know, you go to the movies and you would just like you buy chocolates and chips. I used to just buy a whole French stick or just a whole sourdough, and I just pick it apart and eat it. Like, did nosebleed.
Yeah.
But I used to just munch it. Wow, what an incredible learning there.
It was good, man. It was a good lesson to me, because it just like cemented in my beliefs of like, I was wrong. This is the way. And now I've helped so many people with changing and I don't tell people to stop eating bread. Like it's just moderation, but actually in moderation, right? Like people say moderation all the time, but it's like, I thought it was in moderation because the food pyramid says have 7 serves of grains a day, you know? So you're like, oh, that's fine. But no, like that would be one of my 10% meals. So I go to family dinner or something. It's like, if there's bread there, I'll eat the garlic bread, you know, that's fine. But I know I'm not going to have that at home. That's not for me.
Yeah. Do you put butter on your garlic bread?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So it's pretty much just butter. Yeah. I have my butter and season it with garlic bread. Yeah. And what about so let's say someone who's coming to see you and you're like, we're gonna start carnivore diet. What are the suggestions you give them? Like, right, tomorrow just eat meat. That's it.
Yeah, so I've got just a Facebook group that I put them in and just be like, this is the guidelines. I'm like, try to eat 1 kilo of meat, have as many eggs as you want, have as much dairy as you want to, and just see how you feel. And it's like, just get past day 3 is like the big one normally. That's like you starting to feel shit. So it's just get past this and just see how you feel. I also make them do like a test beforehand. Like, this is my energy level, this is my digestion, this is everything. Like, how am I feeling? Because when you, like I said, right, like there was no apparent moment where I was like, bang, I feel great now. But at the end, and you compare it, you're like, oh wow, this was way better for me. I'm actually seeing improvements in my health here. How can I keep this up?
Right. So
but not very many rules, right? It's like, eat meat, have some dairy, off you go.
You're not even suggesting meals. You're like, whenever you're hungry or when.
Yes, the level 1 stuff. It's like, I don't think you need to have. Like, I've got programs for carnivore, if they want it, but it's like, it's really not that difficult to just be like, eat as much meat as you want. You know, like when you're hungry, eat some more meat. There you go.
Eat more meat.
Bang.
Yeah, wow, what a journey. So, yeah, in summary, just to really summarize for those people that are still tuning in, from someone who's going to set a world record in the handstand push-up category to now looking at one-handed push-ups, so one-handed handstand push-ups. My brain's like, I didn't even think that was a thing. That's awesome. To then nutritional topics, from helping lose weight to building muscle, is really just the side benefit of really moving and feeling better. And then ending up with someone who's really experienced from vegetarian to eating 10 slices of toast a day into then eating meat, feeling more energy. And really, like, this might be for you, it might not, but really actually score yourself and establish what your baseline is. And if it works, it gets better. It works for you. If it doesn't, it's not for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
100% agreed.
Cool. Well, till the next episode, adios, amigos. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into that episode. Hope you really enjoyed it. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and also to share so we can help more people. Now, with your pen, you've probably written down heaps of things, but the things like myself, like there's blank pages, but pages, got lots of notes. What are the top 3 that you got out of today's episode? If 3 is too much, action on one thing and just see how it goes for you for this week. And make amendments and adjustments so you're constantly improving and refining and moving forward in your health, your training, your life. If you ever get stuck, reach out to us at info@vitruvianhealth.com.au. Always here to help. Till next time, adios, amigos.